Today we're driving the 2017 Volkswagen Jetta, in this case the upgraded GLI version. Looks a bit better since we washed the dog pee off the wheels. It also looks better with this bright red paint, which seems to be a color I've been getting quite a bit on European cars as of late, and I'm not complaining. Red paint looks good. Red paint on the VW Passat we tested. Red paint on our Volkswagen Golf GTI. And last but not least, the bright red Audi A3 we drove about 3 months ago. We'll have a link for that test at the end of this video. One of the big differences between the base Jetta and the GLI model can be found under the hood. The starting engine is a 1.4-liter turbo putting out 150 horsepower, available with a 5-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic transmission. Next up is a 1.8-liter turbo putting out 170 horsepower, available with a 6-speed automatic only. And third is the GLI version shown here, 2 liters, 210 horsepower, available with a 6-speed manual transmission or a 6-speed automatic. Fuel economy for the 6-speed manual version is 23 to 33 mpg. With the automatic it moves up to 24 to 33 mpg. We had the 6-speed manual version, which we'll be talking about a bit later. The base Jetta runs around $17,000, but as you can see the GLI is about 10 grand more. But in all fairness, it comes fully equipped with everything you would want. There were not any options. I'm not going to read this off, it's too long, but we'll just show it on the screen, all the standard equipment you're getting. Most people think of Volkswagen as a German car, but in this case it's only 15%. Shows here where it's made. If you watch my videos, you know one of the first things we do when we get a car is evaluate the headlights. After all, we do drive at night, right? So we're going to do that right now. It's dark enough. We'll take these headlights out and see how they perform. Here we have the low beams on a wall 100 feet away. Not the brightest lights I've ever seen, but they spread out well. Now we're going to high beam. A lot better. Here we have the high beams on the building 300 feet away. Lights up quite well, going down to low beams. Just barely makes it. Now that we're done with the headlights, let's take a look at the cabin. There's room in the second row seating for 2 full-size adults. These rear seats do fold down, by the way. Good for carrying lots of cargo. This is a very nice gauge cluster. A very simple, easy to use climate control system. 3 knobs and a couple buttons, the way it should be. We get a very large glove box. A small console, which is better than no console at all. I did have 2 minor gripes with this vehicle, and we'll start with number 1. If you watch my video, the first thing we do is examine the rocker panels underneath to see how wide they are, and these are wide. Probably the widest I've ever seen. My measuring tape shows almost a foot. That's excessive. This means 2 things. First of all, every time you get out of the car, your pant legs are rubbing on the bodywork. And number 2, we have what I often call the dirt shelf. If you live where it rains, snows, or have lots of mud, it's going to get on here. And when you get in and out of the car, it's going directly to your pants. So you might want to keep a bottle of Windex and paper towels handy if you live in a bad climate. Number 2 is the placement of the clutch pedal, which is too far to the right. I did some measuring, and this yellow piece of plastic is where the clutch pedal should be, not over here. This is where your foot wants to go. Using this yardstick as a visual aid, I'll demonstrate what I'm talking about. The brake pedal is 3 inches to the right off center, and the clutch pedal is 1 inch off center. Now I'm going to point out this isn't anything serious. It's not a deal killer. It wouldn't stop me from wanting to buy the car. But for the first 3 or 4 days of driving, I did find it rather annoying. Eventually I did get used to it. But we're testing the car. It's something I need to point out for you. I think I might have made Volkswagen a bit mad by telling you some of the flaws in the car I don't like, so I'm going to redeem myself by telling you all the good features I do like. And there are many good features on this car. We can start with the GLI brakes. Now, a lot of auto writers have been complaining they're a bit too grabby or sensitive. Hey, that's what I want. When I push the pedal down, I want instant response, and that's what we get. I love these brakes. If you get the bigger wheels and tires on the GLI, Volkswagen recommends 38 pounds of pressure in the tires. I thought that was a bit much. It might result in a stiff and comfortable ride, but that wasn't the case. Actually, the ride is very smooth, and this is a great comfortable vehicle for long trips. Then we have the power steering, which is very quick and responsive. Also has pretty good feedback too, which is unusual because I was told this was electric power steering, which ordinarily I would not like, but I have no complaints here. Just a note on everyday driving, if you get the manual transmission, I did find the throw to be a bit on the long side. Same with the clutch down here. The pedal travel is a bit on the long side. So what this means, if you have short arms or legs, you're going to have to move that seat up closer to the steering wheel, which is kind of awkward. I'm average size, around 5'9½", and I had to move the seat up myself. People over 6 feet tall probably won't have an issue with this. It just takes some getting used to. Not really a problem, just a matter of adjustment. In any case, the effort to do the shifting is very light, so that won't be a problem. And the effort to push the clutch is extremely light, so that won't be a problem either. Over the years, I've driven a lot of these 2-liter engines that are used in both Volkswagen and Audi cars. I find it interesting that this particular 2-liter engine is a lot smoother and quieter than the previous ones, which is unusual because Volkswagen says they haven't changed anything. I noticed that the throttle response is far superior too. So it seems to me they've done some changes, but they say no, so I don't know what to tell you. But I can say this is a very pleasant engine to drive, lots of power, no complaints at all. In 44 miles of mixed city commuting, I'm getting 23.1 mpg. Not bad considering I was driving rather hard. Tomorrow we're going to take this out on a long highway trip and see if we can improve these figures a bit, so stay tuned. We just took a long trip on the interstate, 287 miles, and here's our average, 33.2 mpg. Not bad, really. That was averaging around 75 miles per hour, by the way. Here's my take on the Volkswagen Jetta. Basically, it's a very nice car, and if you can afford the upgrade of the GLI, definitely get it. The 2-liter engine alone is worth it. It's strong, powerful, smooth, quiet, and gets great fuel economy. And if you like shifting for yourself, the 6-speed manual works great with this high-revving engine. You won't have any complaints about that, aside from the clutch pedal placement, but you can get used to that over time. If you like German sports sedans but have more money to spend, we have a link for an Audi we tested recently. That video is coming up right now.